Calgary in Week 15. One of the CFL's hottest rivalries is renewed. It's the 11-2 Calgary Stampeders and the 9-4 Saskatchewan Roughriders under the Friday night lights.
Seth Dagey threw for almost 9,000 yards in 2 years at Texas Tech. The former Red Raider gets his first start in the CFL and his first start tonight with the green and white. Drew Tate's been in the league for 8 years yet. This is just his 11th start. He is 1-1 since taking over for Bo Levi Mitchell, who will be back for the Stamps in their next game.
Well, John Hufnagel's Stampeders can confirm a playoff reservation with the win tonight. Even more so, they take a giant step towards clinching first in the West. And after an 8-game win streak, Corey Chamberlain's team has dropped 2 of 3. He calls this a measuring stick night and a test of character. We told you it was a hot rivalry. That's the scoreboard just about a minute or two ago. Flames coming out of the back of the scoreboard while the national anthem was on. But the folks here at Mosaic Stadium have extinguished those flames. Sub-zero temperature. Feels like playoff football, and we are underway with Cedric Cunningham. Chuck Sanders not in the lineup for Calgary tonight because of injury. Cunningham handles the return duties, and it will be Drew Tate for a third consecutive game, leading Calgary out to start.
And he has John Cornish in the backfield, just 22 yards from passing Brandon Winokur and taking the rushing lead. They also get Jeff Fuller back in the lineup at Texas A&M. 28 catches for Fuller, 366 yards, missed 6 games. There's Dan Fader-Kyle playing right tackle tonight, missed last week.
John Cornish will take the opening handoff. He's been red hot, but he gets smacked. At the second level, that's Brian Peters with an abrupt stop on John Cornish.
Saskatchewan Roughriders are starting 8 defensive linemen tonight to try and stop John Cornish. Keys will be in the middle there. Derek Walker. We're going to see a little of former Hamilton Tiger Cat Brandon Boudreau rotate through. And Sam Hurl's going to start at linebacker for Chad Kilger. Last-minute decision by Corey Chamberlain.
Our starters to watch brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard. 4 for Cornish. 2nd and 6. And they'll throw the hitch. And Maurice Price not going anywhere. Macho Harris stepped up, had some help. And it's a 2-and-out to start for Calgary.
Well, there's no question the focus for this Saskatchewan defense is going to be on first down, stop number 9. And can they slow the momentum of John Cornish? They did on first down in this opening series, put Calgary in second along, rally to that hit screen out there to Maurice Price, and Calgary will have to kick it away.
Boy, it was a blustery couple of days here in Saskatchewan, but the wind has died just prior to game time. Shouldn't be a factor. Maver kicking to Dressler, and Dressler will just step out around the 15-yard line. Well, there's the interesting decision. It's Seth Dagey getting his first Canadian Football League start tonight out of Texas Tech.
Well, since Darian Durant went down, Tino Sunseri started 3 straight games after the loss to Edmonton, where the offense did not put a point on the board. A shutout by the Eskimos. It will be Seth Dagey. Wants to go to Weston Dressler as the special teams player of the month. 18 catches since returning from his NFL tryout. And no Xavier Fulton at left tackle. That's going to be Levy Adcock tonight out of Oklahoma State.
Well, we saw Dagey last week in relief against Edmonton. Thought he forced some things in that game. Was 5 for 11, 61 yards, and an interception. With that said, he said, I want to attack it tonight.
Great conversation with him yesterday, and he said, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity and go ahead and attack. There'll be no managing this game. I want to attack the game.
Anthony Allen, the running back. 5 receivers. Getzlaff comes in the block, and Allen on first down up across the 20 to the 22.
Boy, last week against the BC Lions, I thought it was a linebacker clinic by Deron Mayo and Juwan Simpson, who combined for 17 tackles in the game against the BC Lions. Brandon Smith keeps making plays in the secondary. There was an interception by Keon Raven, but Smith over the last 5 games, 3 forced fumbles and an interception.
Lynn J. Shell's moved to the corner. 6 for Allen, 2nd and 4, and a big hole there for Allen to run for the game's initial first down. 274 yards in his last 4 games for Anthony Allen.
I mentioned the Riders dressing a lot of D linemen to rotate through to try and stop John Cornish. Well, the exact same can be said about the Calgary lineup tonight. They're starting 7 different defensive linemen to try and control the Saskatchewan running game.
John Simpson, the tackle, playing in his 99th game, and they go back inside once again. Tackle on the play made by DeQuinn Evans.
Well, great way to settle in at a quarterback in his very first start, get a good running game going, get you in second and manageable situations, as Seth Dagey now has to try and get that play call.
George Cortez mentioned prior to the game one of the keys would be to be better on first down, to keep it manageable for him, and they've done that so far on this opening drive. 2nd and 5. Here's the first pass, and he'll throw and almost picked off. That was Jamar Wall, who just happens to be a former teammate of Seth Dagey at Texas Tech, and he almost had an early interception off his old mate.
3-year starter at Texas Tech, and Jamar Wall almost had him. He looked like it was sort of indecision a little bit from Seth Dagey. Threw in between 2 receivers, and Wall had the best crack at it. 3 interceptions on the season for Jamar Wall, looking for his 4th.
Play doesn't get off as umpire.
Yard penalty remains 3rd down.
And Shamari Williams flinched, so they'll have to do it 5 yards further back. Now Brian Peters checks into the group. Peters was the long snapper. No longer. It's Chad Ripple back with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Chris Milo's boot, not a good one. And it's fielded by Cedric Cunningham. Flag down, and Cunningham, lots of room. Can Milo catch him? Doesn't look like it. Touchdown, Cedric Cunningham. 65 yards. He had a 67-yarder against Ottawa. Let's check the flag.
Looks like this may be coming back. A holding call on Brad Sinopoli. You got the feeling this was a returnable kick from Chris Milo, a low driving kick just to the left of your screen.
Holding. Calgary, number 3, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Brad Sinopoli just got the jersey of Tristan Black.
It negates what would have been a 65-yard touchdown. John Cornish getting set to go to work. Just 41 yards away from taking the rushing lead in the CFL. That is better. All eyes on number 9, as they often are here at Mosaic. Back at the 46. Here through Tate, trying to dump it off. It's incomplete. Maurice Price looking for a flag. None on the field.
Any team that plays against the Calgary Stampeders have to figure out a way to stop John Cornish, who is poised to hit some milestones. He's coming into the week just 21 yards behind the league leader in Nick Grigsby, now just 17. Now Grigsby played earlier. We'll tally up his numbers.
In his last 36 games, he has 17 100-yard games. We're going to get a challenge flag. Stampeders thought there was interference there. The intended target, I believe, was Maurice Price. At least Price was
Calgary is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. It will be reviewed.
Price was demonstrative that a flag should have.
Yeah, well, it was over and under, which is Maurice Price on an under route, and the Riders are going to drop Brandon Boudreau, the defensive lineman, who sees Price cross his face and try and jam him, and he pushes Price about 4 or 5 yards back. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is the over route, and from the other side, you're going to see the under from Maurice Price. Watch it, Brandon Boudreau. He's going to drop out of there. Now hold it right here. There's Brandon Boudreau on Maurice Price. You can stop and protect your ground, but you can't move to jam the receiver and get out of position like that. And you can see he jammed Maurice Price about 3 or 4 yards away from the ball, and that's why John Hufnagel is challenging this.
As the ball was out of the hands of Drew Tate.
Again, if the ball has to have been thrown for it to be an interference or a defensive pass interference challenge, you cannot challenge illegal contact.
After review, we have forward pass interference on the defense, number 96. It is a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
So that's the initial first down for Calgary. It comes by penalty. And a thumbs up from the head coach.
Right now, Dave Dickinson, the play calling is interesting with Drew Tate. He's got him running a lot of those crossing routes, high percentage throws, the quick hitch to Maurice Price in the first series.
You're good with the play calling, and Drew Tate is too.
Yes, he is.
Despite what you might have heard in the last few days. First and 10. And here's Cornish inside, and there's a Big John Cornish run for a first down. 4 consecutive 100-yard games for Cornish, and he rips off 11 on that carry.
Well, it's his best 4-game run ever for John Cornish in his career. This is an 8-year career now for Cornish, and the best 4 games he has put together at 602 yards over that time. He is just hot.
At the Saskatchewan 42. They'll run the sweep. Anthony Parker trying to turn the corner, but Brian Peters was there to bump him out of bounds.
Take a look at the last 4 games for John Cornish. Versus Edmonton, 163. The Toronto game at 174. And then last week, when the BC Lions knew they were going to run, was ready for it. Solomon Elamimian in that game made 10 tackles, and John Cornish still got 156 yards. He's now rushed for over 150 yards 10 times in his career. That's more than any other Stampeder.
2nd and 5, and they throw it to Fuller, who's back in the Calgary lineup. Off the 6-game disabled list, and he takes a heavy hit and may have been shaken up again. Out with a dislocated shoulder. And in his return, his first catch, he's in some difficulty. Rod Williams with the hit, and Rod Williams is shaken up as well.
Yeah, and they're going, look like they're looking at the left knee of Jeff Fuller. Last game he played was August 16th against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. On the 6-game injured, and they just got him off. Let's take a look at the hit. He's getting pulled down from behind by Rod Williams.
And Brackenridge unloads off the right shoulder.
He grabs his left leg immediately.
Well, the injuries have piled up across the league. Tough news today to hear about Andre Dury, who is out again with another broken collarbone, and it has hit John Hufnagel's crew too. Without Marquay McDaniel, among others, and now Fuller sidelined again.
Off on the card, coming off the 6-game injured. His last 2 games he played in back in August had a touchdown in each of them. A big play receiver, and for Dave Dickinson and John Hufnagel, Joe West is a scratch tonight.
Back to work, and down goes Drew Tate. Tate sacked by Terrius George, who has number 11 on the year. sixth sack in the last 6 games for the big defensive tackle.
That 4-point stance, there's Tay George. Coverage pretty good, gives him a split second longer, but just a tremendous bull rush.
Tate was sacked 3 times last week in the win against BC. Sets up second and 18. Pocket collapsing. The flag comes down. Tate escapes and throws. And he has a completion. And that is Cedric Cunningham who will take the spot of Jeff Fuller. Flag on the play.
Tay George was again kind of waving his arms as if he was held on the play. And he's been back-to-back one-on-ones on Adam Bergman of SFU, who Calgary have been real happy with and how he's playing at left guard, but this has been a matchup.
Holding, Calgary, number 67. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
So they'll march 10 yards further back.
There's Shane Bergman right there, and there's Terrius George, and this has been the matchup in back-to-back plays. Bergman's having trouble hanging on, and he gets the holding call around the jersey up high around the neck. So Shane Bergman is trying to hang on there with Terrius George.
No 67 on that offensive line, so we believe that was the call. Tate again, and he'll dump it off, and there's Cornish. He'll reverse field. And John Cornish is dropped just inside the 30. Chad Kilgore with the tackle and the late flag. And this one going against Calgary, well away from the football.
That's Nick Lewis. He's going to get a push on one of the Saskatchewan defensive backs after Cornish was down.
Didn't take long to renew hostilities between these two teams.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary, number 82, 15-yard penalty, becomes third down.
Show you Nick Lewis. We'll circle him one more time after the push. It's right there.
Lewis pointing to the scoreboard replay to plead his innocence, but it makes the kicker have to work for it as Rennie Paredes will come in to attempt a 51-yard field goal. Longest on the year is 47. Could have been 15 yards closer, but Paredes is going to be short. Tristan Jackson bringing it out. Look out. Across the 40. And with flags flying, he tumbles up to the 50-yard line. Oh, we saw a missed field goal in the first game from long-range return for a touchdown by Winnipeg. Big return here by Jackson, but let's check the flags.
Flags came late in the return. That penalty by Nick Lewis obviously takes 3 points off the board. That kick was true. It just wasn't long enough.
During the return, major foul, clipping, Saskatchewan, number 37, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So Rod Williams called for the clip. It will back up Seth Dagey. First Canadian Football League start. He'll go back to work when we come back. Short by 2 different ACL injuries. When he healed up, he went to Texas Tech and put up some pretty impressive numbers.
Over 8,000 yards in his 2 years as a true starter, almost 9,000 in playing part-time in his sophomore year. And then that 2011 game versus New Mexico, he went 40 of 44, an NCAA record. His completion percentage just over 90% in that game. I mean, he had better numbers in 2012 than Johnny Manziel did at Texas A&M. The guy can pass the football. Can he take it and take it to the next level?
Also had a 441-yard pass game to upset, at the time, number 3 ranked Oklahoma. So the credentials at that level are on the resume. They'll swing it out here to Dressler. Dressler trying to get outside, and there's Jamar Wall. Again, Seth Daigie's old teammate making another defensive play.
That 2012 year, Seth Daigie was a semi-finalist for the Davy O'Brien Award, which is the top quarterback in the nation. And there's been some impressive names on that list, guys that have won that award. And you're talking about guys like Peyton Manning and Troy Aikman, Doug Flutie from Boston College in '84, a winner of the Davy O'Brien Award. You're looking at a semi-finalist in that category as well, his college credentials.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. And Daiggie under pressure, look out, ball's out on the ground. And the Roughriders get back on it, but back at the 5-yard line as Ben Heenan saves further damage. Daiggie couldn't get away from Sean Lemon with the forced fumble.
Great speed rush on Ben Heenan. Sean Lemon playing off the edge, gets down in that 4-point, and he gets out of his stance in a heartbeat, comes up high, nice little inside dip, and then gets out and around, and then the swat comes from behind on Seth Daiggie, puts it on the ground.
So the safety conceded. That's the first sack for Sean Lemon since the injury to Charleston Hughes, and it helps put the Stamps in the lead. Fire out, and the scoreboard still operative here at Mosaic. With an update on that pregame excitement, here's Lee Jones.
Yeah, fireworks early in this Western rivalry for sure. They had to turn off the main screen and the scoreboard at the start of this game because fireworks during the Riders player intros caused a bit of a fire. The Regina Fire Department came in quickly to get that out, and it also, of course, had to turn things off as a precaution. So the first 5 minutes of this game, no big scoreboard, and once they put it up, big cheer from the fans at Mosaic Stadium. Now we got to see if there's going to be any fireworks as far as scoring is concerned.
Seth Daigie wanted to light up that scoreboard tonight.
Where there was smoke, there was fire tonight. Remember last year they would put the picture of a fire on the scoreboard, and there were fans that called in saying, "That's right, there's a fire down at Mosaic Stadium." No, that's just a picture on the scoreboard. Don't worry about that. Well, tonight there was one.
The Yuletide log.
Yeah. But they got it out, and we're playing football.
Kick return puts it just across midfield. The Stamps will start at the Roughrider 54. Back in the hands of Cornish, looking for some room there, and brought down quickly. Ricky Foley across with a word for Cornish after a 2-yard pickup.
Looks like Dave Dickinson goes back to Cornish. Obviously, he's going to work Cornish all game long, but he wants to maybe give Shane Bergman, that left guard, a little bit of run blocking rather than having to try and catch Quaterius George and play that pass protection game.
We mentioned the controversy on the play calling. Drew Tate talking about Dave Dickinson. We'll have a little bit more on that as this game continues. 2nd and 8. Tate throwing out of the backfield, and Cornish stumbled, tagged down there by Tyron Brackenridge.
He may have had the corner there. He just stumbled a little bit trying to get to the flat. Tyron Brackenridge come down from the safety and took him in man-to-man. And that may be an answer for Richie Hall, defensive coordinator, just to stumble. Even the best backs in the league stumble every now and then.
For all the damage John Cornish has done over the years against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, he really has not done much as a receiver. Looks like Dave Dickinson has some plans tonight. That's a couple of balls thrown in his direction. Rob Baver with a good punt down inside the 10. And McCartney will bump about. There's the 5-yard, no yards penalty dropped on the play. Well, the CFL and TSN action continues tomorrow. We'll have another doubleheader for you. First up, the Edmonton Eskimos and the Toronto Argonauts. And that will be followed up by BC and Hamilton from new Tim Hortons Field. Live coverage gets underway 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on TSN. One first down for the Roughriders, who seemed like they had some early success on the ground. Seth Daigie trying to get the pass game going. Here's Anthony Allen following the blocking and a cutback. And a good run up across the 20-yard line. Should be a first down for Anthony Allen. We talked to Corey Chamberlain about why he went with number 9 tonight.
Well, I just thought it was time to let's see what Seth had. You know, he has a good command of the huddle and all those type things, but it's just something there. You know, I want to see if he has it and see if he can, you know, be able to do it against a very good football team. Like I said, it's just one of those things that where it's just more so a gut feeling. Like I said, will it pay off this week? Don't know, but I believe the kid has something.
Back to the ground they go. Allen will pound for 2 or 3 more. Well, Tino Raymond celebrating.
Sorry, Chris. Tino Sinceri went 6 of 12 against the Edmonton Eskimos, 50%, and just couldn't get the passing game going. Had a pretty good second half in the overtime win here at Mosaic Stadium against the Ottawa Redblacks, where he threw for over 200 yards in the second half. But like Corey Chamberlain said, it was a gut feeling. Said that Seth Dagey was practicing very well and had been practicing well over the last couple of months, and he wants to see the guy, see what he's got.
Another pass situation. 2nd and long. They dump it off to Allen. And the screen, and Anthony Allen up across the 30 to the 32. That'll be close. Should have another first down. Jawan Simpson, the tackle.
Now, in fairness to Tino Sinceri last week, because of the run game by the Edmonton Eskimos, especially in the first half, the offense didn't stay on the field very long. So these first downs, however the Saskatchewan Roughriders can get them, is going to give Seth Dagey a chance to settle in a little bit, get some first downs, stay out there on the field, and try and get a rhythm.
97 yards from scrimmage last week for Allen, and he has been the focal point of the offense for George Cortez so far. Going to have to work some other guys in. Dagey looking for another guy, looking deep. Wants Dressler, gets knocked down. Lynn J. Shell was there in tight coverage and no flag.
Yeah, I think this is a good no call. I mean, Weston Dressler is going to be trying to push off of Lynn J. Shell a little bit, and Lynn J. Shell's trying to pull his arm, get him a little closer. That happens, a little hand fighting down the sideline, and then it looked more like a stumble than anything from Weston Dressler, and the ball from Seth Dagey not catchable. It was about 10 yards beyond it.
One of those Swiss Army knife players. Lynn J. Shell can play just about anywhere in the defense. At corner tonight for Quincy Butler. 2nd down. Dagey has a completion, and Rob Bagg with a catch up near midfield.
Boy, that's the type of throw that'll give Seth Dagey some confidence. A little bit of pocket presence here. Steps up into that pocket, sees the throwing lane to that right side, and throws a strike over the middle to Rob Bagg, the leading receiver for Saskatchewan this year.
22-yard pickup. Bagg, top Canadian receiver. He's 7th in the league overall. First down and back into the hands of Allen. Big hole left side. And another first down inside the 45.
Getting Anthony Allen going off that left side. Brendan Labatt, remember I talked off the top of the show that Xavier Fulton is a healthy scratch tonight. Levi Adcock is playing at left tackle. A guy from Oklahoma State who played against Seth Dagey in college at Texas Tech. And he's a run blocker.
Allen 6 carries, 40 yards, 2 carries, 10 yards or better. And this time runs into Deron Mayo. Keon Raymond there as well. Raymond playing in his 100th CFL game tonight. And that was the final play of the opening quarter. Just the safety conceded by the Roughriders to report. Roughriders driving here through 15 minutes of football. 2-0 Stampeders. Another low-scoring first quarter. Let's check the numbers after 15 minutes.
Talked about both these teams dressing all the D linemen to stop the run. Anthony Allen is beating John Cornish after 1 quarter of play. 7 carries for Allen, 40 yards. Cornish 4 carries for 31 yards. So the running game important for both these teams. Obviously with John Cornish for Calgary, it always is. But Anthony Allen is important to give Seth Daggy a little bit of confidence and get that balance.
Roughriders are unbeaten when they have outrushed their opponent this year. They're 1-4 when they have not. So these guys are focal points, and right now Cornish on the sidelines. And Anthony Allen at work as we get set for the 8th play of this drive. The Roughriders started on their own 12. Seth Daggy's got the moving. First down, 45-yard line. Stays in the pocket, throws downfield, and it's intercepted. And there is Keon Raymond with another, and he has a big return up near midfield. And that's the way to celebrate the milestone game, as Raymond has his 4th interception of the season, 2nd in as many weeks.
Seth Daggy told us yesterday he was going to attack this game and go after it. He wasn't going to try and manage. He's thrown a couple of deep balls already. This one just sails on him a little bit. He's trying to hit the post to Weston Dressler coming across the middle. Right throw, right read. I think he got him open in behind the coverage and in front of Keon Raymond, but because the ball goes high, Raymond's able to tip it up. Catch his own tip. Back-to-back games with a pick for Keon Raymond.
Stamps take over at their own 54 and into the hands of Cornish off the right side, and John Check will bulldog him down. Another short gain on first down as the Roughriders have got their sights set on number 9 here early tonight.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of defenders, one being Weldon Brown, a veteran in that secondary for Saskatchewan, and said, "You've been around a long time. I thought Weldon Brown, one of the most consistent players last year in their Grey Cup run on defense." He said, "We got to gang tackle John Cornish. That's what we got to do. 12 hats on the football."
Top offensive player, top Canadian in the month of September. Tate in trouble again. He got away. And has to throw it away, but somehow avoided the sack. And the Roughriders defense swarming here. There's Nick Lewis and Macho Harris exchanging words after the 3rd 2-and-out for Calgary.
Straight 4-man pressure. John Chick causes the first problems for Drew Tate. He breaks that tackle and then just runs out of room.
Derek Walker back in that front 4 after missing a couple of games for Saskatchewan. And here's Maver. Dressler at his 13. And the cover team gets down there in a hurry, led by Tim St. Pierre.
Dogie.
Doogie?
Doogie. Doggy. Seth.
Doga.
Or Doogie. Doija. Dodgy. Daggy back in the shotgun. Daggy?
This is going rather well, isn't it?
Daggy.
Everybody knows Seth Daggy.
Daggy's gonna keep it.
Oh yeah, Seth Daggy.
Well, Riders quarterback Seth Daggy has had no problem having fun with people basically not being able to say his name. In fact, he says that video was Texas Tech 2 years ago when he's their starting quarterback. He's mentioned that even when he was a kid, his dad would get frustrated when people would call the house and get it wrong. But talking to him yesterday, he talked about how the more you get respect from people, the more they make sure they know your name. And perhaps if he has a good performance here today, his name will be a household name throughout Saskatchewan. Back to you guys up top.
Household name in Texas. Dad Randy, a high school coach, just like Drew Tate's father, high school coach in Texas. Weston Dressler had 3 on that pitch, and it's 2nd and 7. Here comes the pressure. Daggy fires, and the ball dropped. Brett Swain can't hold on to help out his young quarterback, and Saskatchewan will have to kick it away.
Again, the ball just a little bit high on him, but very catchable for Brett Swain, who does everything right except catch the ball. I mean, he comes back to it nice, runs his route at first down territory so that when he comes back like that, he still would have the first down. Just didn't hang on to it.
Riders haven't done Seth Daggy any favors in field position. His average start on the first 4 possessions, the Rough Rider 17. Cedric Cunningham awaits. Good boot by Milo. And Cunningham may have something again. Got across midfield and then gets straightened up and taken down by Brian Peters, who's had a solid year in green and white.
You mentioned the field position advantage for the Calgary Stampeders so far in this game tonight, how the Riders have been in a hole, but Drew Tate's not taking advantage of that with points on the board just yet.
While the ball is in flight, holding Calgary, number 36, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty against Glenn Love will move the football back. Drew Tate's third start against the team he spent the first 2 years with when he came to the Canadian Football League. He's 1-1. In fact, his first CFL game start was a win against the Roughriders 3 years ago.
October of 2011, played them again last year and lost that game.
Starting at the 35, throws, and Maurice Price has the catch in front of Terrell Mays, and a first down. Well, they're going to rule incomplete, excuse me. Pass incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
It looked like he had it, and then so the Rider defender that kept fighting with him couldn't secure it. Looked like he had it there, and I had it just one bounce. Yep.
That'll turn up the volume.
Terrell Mays.
So a good play by Mays to dislodge the football. 2nd and 10. Pressure picked up. Flag comes down. And the pass intended for Price is incomplete. Tristan Jackson in coverage.
Pressure was coming from the secondary. And Weldon Brown. Calgary had left John Cornish in to help pick up that secondary pressure.
Excuse me, suit. So a holding call that will be declined.
Illegal block, hands to the face, Calgary, number 50. Penalties declined, comes third down.
So that's the third consecutive 2 and out for Calgary, their 4th in the game.
Spencer Wilson's in there at left guard for Shane Bergman. All of a sudden, he's going to get the hands to the face on Terrius George. Calgary has put Wilson in there to see if he could fare better against George.
Weaver the boot, and there's Dressler with it. No yards, and that will be of the 15-yard variety, as Dressler is brought down at the 30. Weston Dressler, the special team player of the month of September. A couple of big punt return touchdowns in the month, trying to kickstart this Rough Rider offense.
Saskatchewan Roughriders not as good in the giveaway takeaway of late with their young quarterbacks in the game. In their 7-game win streak, when Darian Durant was still playing, he was injured in the Labor Day rematch. They did not throw an interception in 6 straight games. They've thrown now 4 interceptions in the last 3.5.
After the 15-yard penalty, the handoff to Anthony Allen off the right side.
Just interesting that Darian Durant, and the moment that he came out of the lineup, obviously with young quarterbacks, they're going to force the ball a little bit, don't see it cleanly. That's the 2nd interception earlier in this game for Seth Daigie, and Tino Sunseri had a couple. So in the last 3 games, interceptions creeping into it.
2nd and 7. Protection is good. He'll air it out, and he's thrown another. Fred Bennett picks it off. He had Dressler open, but threw short.
Yeah, he did. He had an open Weston Dressler down the sideline who had run the wheel route, but he just didn't put enough on it. He's overthrown a couple times, and this one it looks like he's going to maybe aim this throw to Dressler. He runs that out and up. Bennett sits in between them, and he'll just wait and just take advantage of this underthrown football. So Seth Daigie now throwing 2, and you know that George Cortez does not like the giveaway. He has benched running backs earlier in the season for fumbles. He does not like interceptions. What does that mean for Seth Daigie?
Well, they led the league in the turnover category, plus minus. There were plus 13 coming in. That, by the way, the 3rd interception of the year for Fred Bennett on the corner. And now the Stampeders lead the league. They're now plus 13. Calgary in the lead in the turnover category, and Saskatchewan drops to plus 11.
Best two teams in the league, yeah, in that category.
So Drew Tate, which offense gets going first? Tate's got a completion, and there's Mo Price with a catch into Saskatchewan territory, down to the 46.
Now you can talk about the field being slanted in Calgary's favor. You can talk about the turnovers from Seth Dagey already in this game, but again, Drew Tate has not been able to capitalize on him. In fact, last couple of games when the Stamps have turned the ball over defensively, they have 0 points in 2 games off those turnovers. So Drew Tate's got to generate some points when his defense gives him the ball.
20 for Price. First down and back into the hands of Cornish. And he'll get wrestled down in a hurry. John Chick's fired up. Well, we mentioned the Dave Dickinson controversy. Drew Tate this week was asked a question about why were you so effective coming off the bench and then not as effective as a starter? And his answer to a two-pronged question really only dealt with the first part. He said, I was good because of the play calling of Dave Dickinson. We'll keep that going as Tate now throws, and that one batted down. Nice play made by Macho Harris.
Yeah, I mean, he basically, he was answering the first part, which was to say the play calling in the game when he came in against Toronto, he went 6 of 6 in high percentage passes, and Drew Tate said, well, the play calling, he basically just said play calling, but his intent was the play calling that day was high percentage short throws. In the last couple games, obviously that has changed, and that's why it hasn't looked as good, and the numbers have dropped for Drew Tate. He's just, and he missed 4 deep balls last week, or that game's over in a hurry.
Another long-range field goal attempt for Paredes from 50 yards out, and he's short and wide again, and Tristan Jackson will bring it out just beyond the 10. So it remains 2-0 here, Calgary. We're midway through the second quarter at Mosaic.
The Calgary Stampeders, Tim St. Pierre is the snapper on field goals. Rob Maver, the punter, holds. And Rennie Paredes got a bad hold from his holder in Rob Maver. He dropped it, had to restart it. He did get it on the tee, but the timing was off. That one not on Rennie Paredes.
Tough to start with a 51 and a 50-yarder. And a tough field position start, but Anthony Allen, second level and more, dragged down by Lynn J. Shell. But that'll enhance the field position, a 20-yard run for Allen, who's looked good.
I tell you right,
in this first half.
Levy Adcock, talked to him yesterday, and he said, I asked him, what do you like doing best? He said, I love to run block. He's coming from left tackle, coming around the corner, and he's leading the way for Anthony Allen. Gets any kind of penetration there from Brandon Smith, collapses him. He led the way for Allen there.
Allen came into the week 4th in rushing. He'll be dragged down quickly this time. Freddie Bishop on the tackle along with the safety, Josh Bell. Will Ford not on the roster tonight.
Juwan Simpson, defensive coordinator Rich Stubler are going to load the box, and they're going to make Seth Dagey throw the football to beat him. I just saw some DBs fly up on that first down and get in the backfield, try and stop the run in its tracks.
Remember, the Lions got their touchdown last week under 5 minutes into the game. Calgary's been pitching a shutout since. There's another interception. Jamar Wall's got one now. Down the sidelines. It's still going. And he'll get caught from behind by DePalma. But another interception tossed by Dagey. And Corey Chamberlain may have a decision to make.
I'm watching the Rider bench to see if we see Tino Sunseri start to warm up. You've got to wonder. I asked Corey Chamberlain, how are you going to manage it if things don't go well early? He said, I've already talked. He talked throughout the week to Seth Dagey about eliminating the thought process, eliminating the thought of an interception that may get you pulled. He's thrown 3 in this first half. Will he get to throw a 4th is the question.
You got to be named Lancaster to have that luxury, don't you? First down at the 11. They'll swing it out for Cornish. Can't make the catch. That's the 3rd pass thrown in his direction tonight. The guy that isn't usually a receiving target did come in with 15 catches on the year, and we're getting some activity in the Rider bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely. Tino Sunseri is warming the arm up. It looks like we'll see a quarterback change. I said, what's going to be the final straw for you? Even with the interception to Corey Chamberlain, he said it'll be the look in his eyes. If it looks like it's bigger than it, I'm pulling him.
2nd and 10 from just outside the 10. Tate throws, complete, touchdown. Mo Price into the end zone for the first major of the game.
Matter of time, quick slant here to Maurice Price. And the ball right on him. Drew Tate, the timing excellent on the throw. And the Calgary Stampeders finally take advantage of a turnover by their defense. It's a good throw by Tate. He had a man right in his face. Couldn't even follow through on that, but he put it right on Mo Price.
2nd touchdown of the year, his first since week 1 when he had the big 102-yarder. And Calgary finally has something to show for those 3 interceptions. 7 off the latest turnover and a 9-point lead. And how efficient are Calgary in the score zone?
Oh, yeah, best in the league.
83%.
Best in the league, yeah. That's it, I think, for Seth Daggy. And Tino Sunseri not only warming up, but George Cortez moments ago went over and said to him, you are the guy. Corey Chamberlain obviously looked in the eyes of Seth Daggy and said, he's not seeing it. It's that glassy-eyed look a player gets when the stage becomes bigger than he is. We've seen it many, many times. Heisman Trophy winners, Davey O'Brien winners, guys that just struggle making the next step.
Keon Raymond, Fred Bennett, Jamar Wall with as many catches tonight of Daggy passes as Roughriders. On the return, Tristan Jackson up over the 30-yard line, and here comes Tino Sunseri. 6 for 12 last week against Edmonton. The most promising was the second half in the last game at Mosaic when he rallied his team back against Ottawa.
There was all kinds of discussion all week long about this decision by Corey Chamberlain, and there was a lot of people here in Saskatchewan who felt that they wanted to see Tino Sunseri again because they didn't want to put the Edmonton game on him. Saskatchewan defense couldn't stop the run. The supporting cast for Tino Sunseri wasn't that much of a help in that game, and a 24-0 loss to the Edmonton Eskimos a week ago.
Supporting cast has been better tonight. So Sunseri to work, his first pass complete. Dressler on that look in. Jamar Wall the stop.
One of the arguments for Tino Sunseri continuing is all year long, as the number 2 to Darian Durant, he would take those reps with the first team, about 25 to 30% of them in a practice. So he would have lots of reps and more chemistry with the starting lineup than Seth Daggy.
2nd and 2, double tight end formation. Allen straight ahead, or Messam, excuse me. And Jerome Messam has a first down as he pounds to the 45.
What happened to Jerome Messam? You go back to a couple of games or a few weeks ago where he played against Winnipeg, Montreal, and Jerome Messam in those 2 games had 29 touches for 180 yards. And this is what's similar. Look at this, 6.2-yard average. The average hasn't changed in the last 5 games, just the amount of times he gets the ball.
Well, he's getting it for back-to-back carries and some room off the left side up to the 50. And 5 more for the big Running back, 29 years of age, 245 pounds.
Got an equipment issue right there with his chin strap. He's going to have to get that fixed right when he was getting an opportunity to be the feature back. But you'll take 6.2 yards a crack from your tailback. You can see he's a little frustrated. He's getting his reps out there and his equipment broke down.
Allen checks back in. Sinceri, quick hitter, complete. And a first down as Getzlaff. Check that, Dan DePalma has his second catch as a Saskatchewan Roughrider and his first since coming off the 6-game disabled list.
Coming off the 6th game and going on that 6th game is Tosh Smith, who was injured with 1 second to go against the Edmonton Eskimos, and I'm not sure if he got that pass or not.
See if we get a challenge flag before the snap of the football. It's a good play, and then a big stop in the backfield is Quinn Smith, the rookie out of Concordia, there to make a quick stop on Anthony Allen. And DePalma was the first official to say he made the catch, and he sold it pretty well, didn't he?
Well, they got that ball snapped, so no chance for a challenge now.
6th play of the drive is we're getting to the 3-minute warning, and trouble for Sinceri, and he is dropped. The middle linebacker will chalk up a sack as Juwan Simpson celebrates his 4th of the season. So we've hit the 3-minute warning. Calgary stopping that drive. They have a 9-point lead thanks to that touchdown for Mo Price.
Who's going to attack? He did attack, threw the ball deep and threw it to the wrong team.
Cunningham on the return and up beyond the 25-yard line.
But I will say this: you play against a quarterback in his first start as a defensive back, a former defensive back. You were thinking picks. You're thinking this is a game. You go in there, I might have a chance here to pad the stats a little bit, get a couple of picks in the game. And Seth Daggy said he was going to go after it. Well, he started slinging it, just throwing it to the wrong color jersey tonight. 3 interceptions in the first half, and he's on the bench because of it.
Chad Kilgore is the injured Saskatchewan Roughrider. So the Roughriders shut out last week and just over 2 minutes away from not scoring again in the opening half against this stingy Calgary defense.
Ron Mayo, Juwan Simpson talking things out there.
And you know Juwan Simpson's feeling it.
I asked Rich Stubler about Juwan Simpson. I said, what makes him so great? He said, without hesitation, one word: leadership.
Yeah, he was a captain with the
Crimson Tide. Yep.
At the 28, will counter to Cornish, and he finds a hole. John Cornish up to the 40-yard line. His best gain of the game, and now up to 48 yards on 7 carries in this first half.
You know, this is what John Cornish did last week against the BC Lions. You know, just kept pounding away, picking up 8 yards, 7 yards, 12 yards, 4 yards, and then second half broke a couple of big ones when caught BC in stunts. And just keep working it to John Cornish, and why wouldn't you? The best back in the Canadian Football League.
Feed him the ball, and he'll crash to the 45. 5 more. 97's dialed in tonight. John Chick with another tackle.
He knows how important it is defensively for the Riders to try and contain number 9. As hot as he's been over the last 4 or 5 games.
Clock running, 2nd and 5. Calgary at their 45. Back to Cornish again. He's got a hole, and he has a first down, dragged down by Brian Peters. Well, we mentioned John Chick, who's made a few stops on Cornish tonight. It is best against best.
Cornish is a game changer, and so you know, it's only wise as you know, any defense looking at them that's who you got to stop. You know, they got other playmakers as well, but you know, he's a game changer, and we got to focus on that.
I would say so.
Yep. Not much doubt about who the focal point is.
Leads the CFL in runs of 10 yards or more with 26. Leads the CFL in runs of 20 yards or more. Last 10 games versus Saskatchewan, almost 1,000 yards. Yeah, I would say he's a focal point.
Anthony Parker's catch sets up 2nd and 4. Pass for Sinopoli broken up, but a flag flies, and this will be pass interference. Looked like Tristan Jackson was there a fraction of a second too quickly.
Forward pass interference, Saskatchewan, number 3. It will be a 10-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Excuse me, it'll be Macho Harris that draws the flag.
Well, at the point of attack and pass interference, I think you're right. It looked like it was Tristan Jackson who plays that corner. He came and closed.
Was 38. And it was pass interference. First down, Tate throws, got another completion. Mo Price, the favorite guy, and he nearly got away. Tyrone Brackenridge drags him down. Good first half for Maurice Price, 14 more.
3 receivers to the wide side of the field. Maurice Price, that wide out, just jab steps, runs a quick dig, and then a little bit with the football after those yards after catch. If not for the tackle by Brackenridge, we've been one-on-one on Terrell Mays to the end zone.
Price forced catch. This is the 7th play of the drive. And a pump and an open man in the corner, and it is caught but out of bounds by Weldon Brown. So no interception as he recovered. That ball hung up, intended for Brad Sinopoli.
It did hold up, and it was a mistake in reading the coverage from Drew Tate. If you're in man-to-man and you got a man matchup on Sinopoli out here, and this is man-to-man defense, then you throw it up, you let Sinopoli go get it. In a zone defense, though, if you hold it there, you see now it's a zone defense. Weldon Brown is playing the football in the air. The more air under it now gives that deep player a chance to go over and get a piece of it.
Goes 2nd and 10. Cornish releases. He catches that swing pass, but will be dropped short of the first down at the 21. Marche Green on the scene. It's a 5-yard pickup, and the field goal unit comes back on, hoping that the 3rd time's the charm.
That's probably what Dave Dickinson is telling Drew Tate right now. Hey, you get a man, don't worry about throwing it up like that. You see that 3-deep zone with a high player like Weldon Brown was on that deep throw. Then you got to throw it on the line in the hole between the deep player and the shorter player, who was Rod Williams on the corner.
So the field goal attempt from 28 yards out. And Hernandez has it blocked. That's been a nightmare. Tristan Jackson is going to get hit to the end zone, and the flag comes down. Wait to find out if that was a blocking issue or a face mask. But it's been a tough night for Rennie Paredes, who's already experienced his 4th multi-missed game of the year.
That one just flat out blocked off the edge by Brackenridge. Snap was good. The ball's down. Not necessarily need the lace out of there on a short one like that. In fact, Maver got the lace away, but Brackenridge got there coming around the corner.
11 blocks in the league this year, and that's the 3rd by the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who had a big one in overtime against Ottawa. And now some options that Al Bradbury will give to Rough Rider coach Corey Chamberlain.
foul, face masking, Calgary, number 26. The ball will be placed at the 25-yard line. First down, there is no point.
So Rob Cote called for the face mask, and that does negate the single.
Been an adventure in the field goal team for Calgary, and Cote, first guy there. You see he got the corner of the face mask.
We always wonder why guys run around, don't just put a knee down. In this case, for Tristan Jackson,
it worked out.
It worked out.
You don't do it because if you get hit and the ball pops out, you give up a touchdown.
Yes. So Tino Sinceri will run it out, and the first half is done. And the Roughriders' pointless streak continues. 9-0 Calgary at halftime at Mosaic.
Back in our Wendy's Friday Night Football studios, Rod Smith along with the coach Paul Lapalisse and the GMC Coaches Playbook. Not a memorable start, or not the kind of memory that Seth Dagey would want for his first one in the Canadian Football League. 3 for 9, also threw 3 interceptions. Coach going to break down some of the things that went wrong for Seth Dagey in this game.
You know, Rod, sometimes young quarterbacks, you draw up schemes and you draw up passes, and you have certain guys you're trying to hit, but sometimes those guys are going to be covered, and you can't stay with that guy you're trying to hit. You've got to go through your progressions. Take a look at this throw to Weston Dressler. There are 3 players right in the vicinity, one deeper, one short, and one underneath. That is a difficult throw for any quarterback, a 15-year guy. There's got to be other places to go underneath the ball. This second one, they're trying to flood a zone. So they have a post, a deep throw. They have a wheel route coming up the sideline and a guy out in the flat. As you look, there is an open area. The vertical gets rid of, there's a nice spot, but this one, I like the decision. You can't underthrow this football. You've got to get it out there, throw it out there. He underthrew it, caused the interception. And now this one is, again, a same flood. They've got a vertical, a guy on a corner route, and a guy underneath. You see the guy underneath open down at the bottom. Okay, as we're going to lose sight of him in a second. And again, you're trying to push it. They're trying to throw that corner out. I understand that, but there are 3 people there. You got to check the football down. So, you know, you want your quarterback in these game situations to be able to check the ball down when you have to. Don't force your defense to be back out on the field on a short field, and he certainly did that, and that's why he got pulled.
So the opposite scenario, what happened last week against the Eskimos in Edmonton, where Tino Sinceri got the start. Dagey did come in later on. This time Sinceri comes in as they keep rotating, looking for an answer on offense after the injury to Darian Durant a few weeks ago. Saskatchewan struggling to score points. They are behind at home against the Calgary Stampeders, who have put 9 on the board. Back with the panel and more coming up here. Wendy's Friday Night Football, part 2 of our doubleheader at the half.
Shout out Friday Night Lights.
It's Friday Night.
9-point game headed to the second half, but first headed to the sidelines. Lee Jones with Corey Chamberlain.
Coach, 6 quarters now where this team has no points. What are you hoping to see from Tino Sinceri in the second half to get things going?
I'm hoping that one of these guys will step up and show that they can take command of the offense and, you know, play football. It's just football, and then put some points on the board.
While you're looking at quarterbacks, but what is maybe the receivers, the O-line, the running backs, what do they need to do to help these quarterbacks?
You know, they have to continue to do what they do. The quarterbacks just have to settle down. There's some throws there. They just have to make them. Don't overthink. Don't try to be perfect. Just play football.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
This is the longest scoreless streak for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 6 quarters, the longest in 35 years. Without their #1 man. Short kickoff, and Messam takes it to the 35. And Tino Sinceri rallied his team the last home game at Mosaic from 12 points down in the 4th quarter. Back out to work.
Well under 100 yards passing against Ottawa in that overtime game in the first half. Came back in the second, threw for over 200 yards, took it to overtime, made a nice throw and a 2-point convert to get it to overtime. So capable of that.
start double tight ends, and they go to Allen, who gets sliced down. That's Brandon Smith, the 7-year veteran, moves up from his defensive halfback position to make the tackle.
I made him a player to watch for a reason. This guy is making plays all over the field. Talked about his forced fumbles over the last few games, but also his tackles. I mean, he's leading the Calgary Stampeders out of the secondary, takes on the pulling guard, cuts him down in Brendan Labatt, and makes a tackle as well.
He leads the league among everybody not named Solomon Alabimian in the tackle department. It's a tackle for a loss, 2nd and 11. And they'll throw the screen, and Duron Mayo closed in a hurry, and another loss, and back-to-back tackles for losses.
Last 4 games, Duron Mayo's racked up 25 tackles. He's trying to catch his teammate. I mentioned the clinic that those two put on, Juwan Simpson and Mayo, a week ago against the BC Lions. They're back at it again. One of the reasons this offense is struggling, and back-to-back games, they played Edmonton's defense last week, Calgary's defense this week.
Out of Old Dominion in his 2nd year as a Calgary starter. Good boot, it's Cunningham. Got by the first wave. Ainsworth couldn't bring him down, and now a flag comes down as he runs it back into Saskatchewan territory. Cedric Cunningham's been dangerous all night long. Jock Sanders unable to get in the lineup this week because of an ankle injury. The former Rough Rider disappointed that he couldn't be here.
During the return, holding, Calgary, number 45. It's a 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's Carl McCartney, whose holding penalty negates another Cunningham return.
Coach Huffnagel not happy with his special teams because Cunningham is doing his part, and Carl McCartney's, he confesses. He knows he's not waiting to the game film before the coach sees it. He confessed, it was me.
Can't go hide at the back of the room. John Cornish back to work, and up over the 40 to the 42-yard line.
Interesting conversation with Cornish yesterday in our walkthrough practice. He talked about his offensive line and giving them as much credit as he possibly could yesterday for his success over the last 4 or 5 games. And he even broke it down further than the entire O-line. He said there's a little competition going on between the left side of the O-line and the right side of the O-line. Which guy or which side of the O-line are you following more than the other?
2nd and 5. Cornish again, and he'll run for a 1st down. Tripped up by Brian Peters. You give that one to Brett Jones?
Yeah.
Well, he goes up the middle?
I give it to Brett Jones, and off that left side eventually, so they keep track. And left guards Bergman and Bryant, and a little bit of Wilson over there we've seen in this game on the left side, and Brander Craighead and Pater Kyle on the right side. I mean, those are guys that they're in a little competition of their own up there.
Matt Walter now into the game, takes that direct snap, and whenever Matt Walter's number is called, he seems to get it done out of the University of Calgary. Good run on 1st down for Walter, who had 88 yards in a full game against Montreal, replacing John Cornish.
Yeah, I love his story because he's, a low-round draft pick and not much chance to make the team. He does that first, and then you're right, Chris. Every time he gets the ball or is asked to make a block or do something, he does it very well. And you have to have a Canadian backup if you're going to start a Canadian running back, and that's what Calgary does.
8 on 1st down and into Rough Rider territory. 2nd and 2, and Walter is able to run for the 1st down. Drop the ball. Brackenridge up with it. And he'll get collared out by Tim St. Pierre, but this time Matt Walter puts it on the ground and comes up on the limb. Rough Riders needed a takeaway, and they get one here early in the 3rd quarter. Like Derek Walker rips it out. Was he down? Reviewed, this one still under review, and based on one of our replay angles, looks like Matt Walter was down, and this may go back to Calgary.
It's like he has possession as he spins here. He's got the ball in his possession there, and the right knee right now touches possession of the football. Now it comes out shortly after that but that knee, it's like he was down by contact. Calgary
The previous
kicked the ball.
play is under review by the command center.
Sure why they didn't do that in the break, but the bottom line being that they got to take a look at that. I think this is going to be overturned. Calgary will maintain possession. Matt Walter also had first down territory when he went down.
And made forward progress, as you can see, to the 50. So he had the first down by a couple of yards. Limped off, and there's knee down, and then the ball comes out.
After review, the ball carrier's knee was down at the 50-yard line before he lost the ball. That is enough for a first down, so it is first down Calgary.
So the Stamps offense goes back on the field. John Cornish will replace Walter, who was shaken up on that last play. John Hufnagel's team with the fewest giveaways in the CFL. First down, a pump from Tate, and then he rifles it high and incomplete, trying to hook up with Anthony Parker.
You know, I'm looking at that formation. When Matt Walter goes down, John Cornish is staying on the bike and kind of trying to loosen up. I'm not sure if he got nicked. They went with an empty set there, put the fullback on the field, and Rob Cote as a wide receiver there, because both Canadian running backs are now working it out on the sideline.
Remember, he did play 2 games ago. Did not play in the game in Montreal. 2nd and 10. Tate has some time. He wants Sinopoli and drops it in. And Sinopoli has fumbled the football. Now they're going to rule incomplete. Initially, it looked like they were going to rule complete and a fumble, but an incomplete pass, and it'll be third down.
Well, that's probably the best throw from Drew Tate in the last 2.5 games, because there was tight coverage there on Sinopoli, and he did drop it right over the top and in the bucket there, and it's just ripped out by Macho Harris, who doesn't quit on the play, because Sinopoli has it now. Would this be ruled a...
That kick bounces into the end zone. Dressler lets it bounce back there, and he'll concede the Rouge. And it's a double-digit lead, 10-0 Calgary here, just shy of the 5-minute mark here in the third quarter. Can Anthony Allen kickstart the Roughrider offense when we come back? There's Brad Sinopoli. It was ruled an incomplete pass. We were both wondering if Calgary might challenge.
Well, they didn't, and they punted, so I just wanted to go back because you have to survive contact with the ground. I thought Sinopoli got that foot down first with control of the ball. Now it's ripped out as he goes and spins to his back, and he recovers the ball, but no challenge from John Hufnagel.
Roughriders start at their 35. Anthony Allen with a pickup of 4. He has been the best Roughrider tonight.
2 good running games, 2 good offensive lines, and especially for Saskatchewan with a young quarterback in either guy, Tino Sinceri or Seth Dagey. They're going to lean on number 26 at time. We saw a little bit of Jerome Messam, and then he had an equipment issue and had to get out of the game.
Allen on the night, as you can see, was 65 yards so far. 2nd and 6. Sinceri hit as he got it away, and it's incomplete. Linjay Shell on the corner. Pass intended for Dan DePalma.
Quincy Butler was playing out on that corner and had an immigration issue, went back to the States, and Linjay Shell, who you talked about off the top, Chris, being one of those guys that can play so many different positions. They've got a couple guys like that because Keon Raymond is the same type of player. He's out there in that short side corner and breaks that one up.
So consecutive 2 and outs to start the second half for the Roughriders. Milo double clutches, and he'll get tossed down. Keaton McDougall, the University of Saskatchewan product, on the scene, and he dropped Milo before he could get the kick away.
Boy, you know, against the BC Lions, McDougall had a block kick almost that turned into a roughing the kicker call. He was right there, just barely missed the ball, but Chris Milo kind of double clutches this one and has to reset it, and he kind of looks, takes a peek, sees Keenan McDougall right in his grill, and McDougall throws him for the big loss, and sudden change.
Had a touchdown on the block punt against Edmonton at Commonwealth, and keeps making big plays on the team's 4th turnover.
Being used to playing here.
Tate out of the backfield. Walter, there is a flag as Matt Walter back into the offense for Calgary. See if there was blocking downfield before that ball was delivered by Tate. No, they're signaling it's going against the Roughriders.
Major foul, face mask, Saskatchewan, number 93. It'll be applied half the distance to the goal at the end of the play, first down.
Penalty against Terrius George.
In the middle there again, working with against Spencer Wilson. And you see he gets his hands up in the face and starts ripping around the head of Wilson. Correct call made by the official.
1st and goal, and again, the Stampeders just about automatic in this area. Drew Tate into the end zone, wants Mo Price, and it's incomplete. Price will argue, because there was a little jostling going on.
You got to be careful, you get a penalty for that alone. There was a lot of pushing and shoving here. He does a nice job, Price, of getting in tight because he knows he's going to run that corner route, so he gets in there nice and tight and then gets back out to the corner. And watch him and the battle that he has with Tristan Jackson. A push there, a little grab, a little push, a little tug on the jersey. Got away with it.
2nd and goal. Marche Green in on defense. Pass over the middle. Is it a touchdown? It is. Anthony Parker. Well, this will be reviewed, but Parker celebrating what would be his 4th of the season.
Good look off by Drew Tate. Backside seam.
Man, not much question. Brackenridge knocking it out of there, but
great move by Parker.
Couple of steps, and this should stand. No Markway McDaniel. Jeff Fuller hurt again tonight.
And because of adding D lineman, Joe West was a healthy scratch tonight on the 46, not on the 44. And there is the touchdown confirmation, and they will kick the extra point.
Paredes makes it 14 points on turnovers tonight as Drew Tate and the Stampeders cash in and now lead by 17.
And recognition by Anthony Parker there on a halfback blitz from Weldon Brown defensively. He was covered by Brackenridge.
We get the shutout 2 weeks in a row.
Did he just jinx it by saying it out loud?
He's not superstitious. Tristan Jackson. And Jackson still alive here with the flag down. Couple of penalties to sort out here, and they look like they're against Saskatchewan.
Well, they sorted out. Let's go back to that halfback blitz from Weldon Brown. I'll show you how Anthony Parker picked it up. There's Brown there. He's going to come on this blitz. Now, this is an out move and then back to the post. Why? Because
holding Saskatchewan 31. That penalty's declined. Also, illegal block Saskatchewan number 16. That penalty is accepted. First down.
You'll see Tyrone Brackenridge coming in, and he has to pick up Anthony Parker on this double move, little out fake, and then right across his face. That's great route running and recognition from Parker on the touchdown. Now the Riders in bad field position again.
Defense playing great today. Let's get that goose egg right there. Let's go.
Hurl and Swain both
40 foot.
flagged on that kick return. So once again, a start inside their own 20. And not much room for Anthony Allen into the arms of Junior Turner. And you know, it's amazing Calgary's had so many injuries on the D-line, but they have continued to play stout with guys like Junior Turner, DeQuinn Evans, Quinn Smith in place of DeMonte Bolden, Corey Mace, Micah Johnson.
Don't forget Charleston Hughes isn't in the lineup either.
He's not bad.
A pretty good one, yeah.
Encouraged that Hughes may be close to returning, missing his third game tonight at defensive end. Second down, the wide side throw, complete to Swain, bumped out by Wall, short of the first down, and it's yet another 2 and out for this Rough Rider offense.
I want to show you the leader in Juwan Simpson here and how he directs traffic all the time. Look at him in the middle of the defense, getting everybody lined up right. He's talking to Deron Mayo. He's saying, okay, you good there? I'm going to line up over here, talking, communicating to everybody. Takes his drop, gets out there now. Jamar Wall's going to push him out of bounds, but he's running it back there, the quarterback of that defense.
Milo's boot, and here comes Cunningham again. Across midfield with another good return to the Saskatchewan 49. By the way, we'd like to welcome viewers on ESPN2 tonight. Drew Tate, the pride of Robert E. Lee High School in Baytown, Texas, and the Iowa Hawkeyes. I haven't seen John Cornish, and we believe this might be the play that has sidelined John Cornish.
Charlie Horse. For ESPN viewers, John Cornish played his college ball at Kansas.
And the end around to Anthony Parker, brought down by the safety Tyrone Brackenridge.
Cornish went to the sideline, got his knee wrapped up.
Looks like he's done for the night. 74 rushing yards in the game. So enough to take the league lead in rushing. Enough to get into the top 25 all time tonight. Had his sights set on 6,000 career yards tonight. He needed 117. Looks like he'll have to wait. Pass over the middle, and it's caught. And away goes Cunningham, breaking through and down to the 15.
This is the big upside with a little play action from Drew Tate, who runs this nicely. He's starting to get in a bit of a groove, but this is the upside when you throw to a returner. I mean, Cunningham is a receiver. Yes, Cedric Cunningham can play receiver, no question, but you give him the ball quickly. Now he can do the rest. You know what he can do in the open field on punt returns, kickoff returns. He's had some good ones tonight. It's a nice game.
40-40-40.
Back into the red zone where they're 2 for 2 tonight. Drew Tate looking into the corner, and it's off Terrell Mays, incomplete. Intended for Maurice Price.
So three receivers again to the wide side. Maurice Price is the widest of the three. Again, Tristan Jackson drops him, and as he play a zone defense, Terrell Mays just turns and runs to it. Gets hit right in the back.
Didn't put his hands up to screen. Second and 10. And Tate, quarterback draw, it opens up. And down inside the 5, touchdown. Drew Tate has his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. A 14-yard run to pay dirt.
Great call down here by Dave Dickinson. He's got a quarterback that can run, that's very good at this play. Down inside, getting close to that red zone. You need one block to get it up front. And then Brackenridge and Macho Harris almost hit each other. And Drew Tate is fired up.
That's the 11th touchdown run by a Calgary quarterback this year. Tate's got 7 of them. And it's now 24-0 Stampeders.
Saving a few bucks.
Same here.
Passes and now a run for a major score.
Gets a nice block by his center, Brett Jones. You see Brian Peters drop under there, and watch Brett Jones, the center right here. He's going to not wait for Brian Peters to decide. He's going to go attack him. 69 sits for a second. He gets up on him, attacks him, gets them all spinning around, turning around. He can't recover in time to make the tackle on Drew Tate.
Well, we know he's a guy that wears his emotions on his sleeve, and very typical Drew Tate, fired up on the sidelines.
Still 7-3 as a starter. Only started in 10 games. This was his 11th.
In 8 years. It's a little hard to believe.
Injury problems and good
this
young
was
Bo Levi Mitchell,
even a surprise start in some ways. It looked like Bo Levi Mitchell would be ready this week. He'll be ready after the bye. Tristan Jackson trying to enhance field position. Calgary's been playing on a short field all night long, and that last touchdown drive was 4 plays, 49 yards. And Tino Sinceri trying to come up with a first down here to get things moving in the second half.
Yeah, you sort of get the feeling with these young quarterbacks for Saskatchewan that it's not necessarily whether or not the Riders can come back and win this game, but whether or not they can get some points on the board. Did not score a point against Edmonton last week. And we're heading to the fourth quarter.
Flicks it to Anthony Allen.
Juwan Simpson.
That's in Juwan Simpson neighborhood, which means it's not going to go very far. That was interesting yesterday. We asked John Hufnagel who's playing well on defense, and he immediately talked about Juwan Simpson and Deron Mayo. Those two guys are players.
You mentioned captain of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, think about the great players and linebackers that played for Alabama.
Second down. Sinceri went through the reads, and he finds DePalma. Gets away. Dan DePalma is gone. The scoreless streak is over.
He's a great athlete.
Something to cheer about for the hometown faithful.
Out of Westchester University of Pennsylvania, an all-around great athlete. Excellent move on Lindsay Shell and Brandon Smith, the Calgary Stampeders leading tackler, and then speed down the sideline, and yes, the scoring drought is over.
102 minutes and 27 seconds. As mentioned, at least the longest drought in 35 years for the Roughriders, and now they'll go for 2. DePalma's first Canadian Football League touchdown. And it is 2 for Weston Dressler.
Timing throw on the two-point convert. Tino Sinceri. Boy, I like what he did to on the Dan DePalma throw to go through those reads, as you mentioned. Look to the wide side of the field first, not like what he saw over there, and then go back to his check down guy, the backside of the play, to Dan DePalma. Take a look at that throw, because this is a young quarterback, folks. This is his really fourth game play action. There's read number 1. He's going to go to another one here, and read 3 or 4 is over to the backside. Read number 1 doesn't like it. Looks to the middle. Not good there. Finds De Palma as the play is starting to disappear on him. And De Palma does the rest.
.66-yard touchdown, and now the hands team are out. They'll try and short kick here, or will they? Timeout Calgary. They want to be ready for it.
Yeah, I don't think they had their hands team out there.
You don't always see this early. It's still 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, and John Huffnagel's not going to take any chances. Mark Killam.
And the Riders are now going to change things up and put their, looks like, or at least huddle up and disguise what they're going to do on this kickoff.
The short fields that Calgary's had tonight,
I can kick it deep.
Kick it away.
Absolutely.
And Milo will. Cunningham on the return. It's just past the 30 before he's brought down. Our sack tally is brought to you by Purelator. Tackling hunger across Canada. Check.
1 and 3, respectively. The Saskatchewan Roughriders lead the way in this category, and John Chick leads all players in sacks with 14 on the season.
Just running through it. The first 11 two-point converts in the league were unsuccessful. I'm not sure the Saskatchewan Roughriders aren't the only team with a two-point convert. Checking that as Matt Walter goes to work and falls forward across the 35-yard line. Walter in to replace John Cornish, who's been sidelined in the second half.
Makes a big difference for this Calgary offense. Obviously, you have the best player in the league, one of the best players of reigning MOP in the league on the sideline. Puts more pressure on Drew Tate. He has been throwing the ball well in this third quarter.
Cornish told us yesterday, you'll see Drew Tate's best game tonight. Hands it off again to Walter, and Derek Walker trips him up. Nice play for the returning defensive tackle, who's missed a pair of games.
This is where you can expect, because of the decisions on the roster from Corey Chamberlain, that those defensive linemen will stay fresh. Again, 8 defensive linemen dressed for this game for Saskatchewan, so they've rotated those guys through. Derek Walker should have fresh legs.
So a 2 and out. Roughriders were going for the block. Meaver's kick will bounce around just inside the 35, picked up by Dressler, and he'll get ridden out at the Rough Rider bench by Lynn J. Shell. Believe in the impossible. The fastest man alive comes to CTV. The Flash series premiere Tuesday at 8, 7 Central. 66-yarder for Dan De Palma, and the atmosphere a little bit better here at Mosaic. Final minute, third quarter.
It's too tight end.
First down at the 40. Sinceri gonna air it out. Got him in! And it's caught in behind coverage. Chris Getzlaff with his biggest catch of the season.
Wondering where Chris Getzlaff was, because he likes playing, especially early in his career, against Calgary. Some of his best work has been against the Calgary Stampeders, and this is a bust by the Stampeders in their secondary. 2 guys just hesitate and take Weston Dressler, or have their focus on Dressler, And meanwhile, Chris Getzlaf just sneaks behind the coverage.
57 yards, only his second 30-plus catch of the year. Final play, third quarter, barring a penalty. Sinceri looks into the corner. Dressler down, flag down. And we'll get one more play. It'll be first and goal at the 1.
Looks like Brandon Smith may have grabbed the jersey here when Dressler went by him. There's the one-on-one matchup. Corner route for Dressler here. Now, that's jam's okay, but you see the jersey and the grabbing from behind and then sort of walks up the back of his legs.
Defensive pass interference. Calgary, number 28. Penalty happened in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. We have one more play in this quarter. First down.
How quickly things can change. Just a couple of positive plays. One to Dan DePalma by the Riders, and all of a sudden they look like a different football team.
Only the 6th time into the score zone in the last 5 games for the Roughriders. Messam in behind Sinceri. Quarterback will keep and score.
It's a game now.
And they'll leave the offense out, go for 2 more. Try and get within a touchdown and a 2-point convert on a night for most of 2.5 quarters. Looked like they'd be hard-pressed to get any points.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Now 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
It's amazing what a play or two can do for you, because you're absolutely right, Chris. They were shut out with about 3-4 minutes left in this third quarter. And it didn't look like they were going to break the shutout, let alone get back in this football game.
Objectional conduct, Saskatchewan, number 33. That penalty will be applied on the next kickoff. We're going to run this convert during this quarter.
And just like that, a couple of plays, offense gets a little confidence, and game on.
Messam, the objectionable conduct penalty that will cost them 10 on the kickoff. Mentioned the Roughriders have a couple of 2-point converts on the season. Looking for another here. Dressler into the waggle. 4 receivers wide side. They go that way, and it is 2 more. Weston Dressler with a flag down. Let's find out if this will stand.
Dressler offside in the neutral zone.
Calgary, number 25. Penalties decline. We score a 2-point convert.
He was not.
Well, the Roughriders have the fans cheering here. Mosaic. Loudest it's been all night long through 3 quarters. Looked like Calgary was going to cruise home. But 2 in, 2-13. And it's an 8-point lead. Here are the numbers after 3 quarters.
2:13 left in the third quarter. It's a 24-0 game, and in just over 2 minutes, Tino Sinceri not only gets the team back in it for Saskatchewan, he goes 9 of 10 for 161 yards and a touchdown, the long throw to Getzlaf, but he's also established himself now as the guy. I mean, there's no questions anymore.
No. Hard to believe they have 5 yards more than Calgary on the night. Sinceri's made a difference, and the fact John Cornish is out is also a difference maker in a different way.
Without question. That's the heart and soul of the offense for the Calgary Stampeders, and he didn't play in that third quarter.
Again, the Messam penalty means that the Roughriders have to kick off from their own 25. Milo Kicking to Cunningham, who's been good tonight on the returns. And the cover team gets down there and limits the damage and stops him at the 44.
Well, talking about limiting damage and stopping momentum, that's on the shoulders of number 4 right now, and Drew Tate. It's all momentum to Saskatchewan right now, and they feel like they've got the hot hand offensively. You've got to believe Tino Sunseri is in that comfort zone for, maybe the first time. And now it's up to the Rider defense, see if they can keep the momentum. It's up to Drew Tate to try and take some of it away by getting about 3-4 first downs here.
Matt Walter off the left side, quickly brought down.
Now, you mentioned jinxes, and we've said to fans many, many times that commentators cannot jinx anybody. Hockey goalies, players, or teams on the field. Maybe players can.
Yeah, we heard Anthony Parker use the S word in the third quarter. By the way, that last tackle made by the newcomer Brandon Boudreau, former Hamilton Ticat, who caught Corey Chamberlain's eye last year in the Grey Cup game. Second down, Tate to throw, and what a hit! Simon Charbonneau-Campo with one of the heaviest hits of the season, and he'll need some help. He was open for a split second. And then Marche Green delivered the hit.
Just flowing to the football, and Marche Green actually looked like he was playing the ball, not playing to make the hit. And they collide.
Charbonneau.
Oh, hey.
Marche Green's been the extra DB on those second down situations tonight. Big breakup and a 2 and out, and we'll get back to Charbonneau when we return.
The GMC Sierra was named the best new pickup in 2014. And while awards are usually followed by long, boring speeches, it's in our nature to be more efficient. A winning year calls for outstanding offers. Get 0% financing for 84 months on a select 2014 Sierra or up to $8,000 in cash credits on other models.
For more comfortable rooms all year long, choose the sleek, classic infrared zone heater with built-in air purifier. The zone heater provides moist, soft, therapeutic heat. The air purifier removes odors, dust, bacteria, and allergens. Lower your bills by heating only the rooms you use and purify the air with or without the heat on. The sleek, classic zone heater. Only at Home Hardware Building Center, and Home Furniture. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
I think Dutchie may be taking this commissioner thing a bit too seriously.
Hey, Schultze. He's making up his own rules. It's scary. Rule 417, all trades must be sanctioned by the commissioner. I'm the commish. I have to lay down the law.
Stick trap, bro.
Excessive celebration, rule 456.
Another look at the huge collision between Marche Green and Simon Charbonneau-Campo. Graduate of Sherbrooke. We're being careful with him.
You know, Marche Green was playing the football as well. I mean, there was contact with the helmet, but he certainly didn't launch himself into the head of Charbonneau-Campo. He was playing the ball, and they collided, and it was a huge collision.
And that replay shows you clearly not leading with the helmet.
No, not at all. Legal hit, they'll just stabilize and make sure Charbonneau-Campo is okay down there.
Staff from both teams out to work on Campo here. Twice the MVP of the Quebec League when he was in Sherbrooke. Acquired from Hamilton by John Hufnagel. And now to his feet. Good sign and a nice ovation from the fans here at Mosaic. It's been a tough night for that Calgary offense in terms of injuries. Jeff Fuller went down early. We haven't seen John Cornish, and well, that's a great sign. Campo walking off under his own power, and we would expect he is done for the night.
That's John Hufnagel about his injuries this year, and he said, you know, it's kind of typical. There's been a lot.
There has been a rash of them, and but he wasn't going to use that as an excuse. As many as he's had without his #1 defensive end, without his starting quarterback, without his leading receiver, Markway McDaniel.
Remember, John Cornish missed a bunch of games early in the season.
But league-wide, it's been a huge issue this week. We learned Andrew Harris gone for the year. Andre Dury today confirmed gone for the year. Lost some important people in the league for the rest of the season. And here in Saskatchewan, they've been in a bind since losing Darian Durant in Winnipeg in the Banjo Bowl. By the way, I only play a doctor on television, but John Hufnagel mentioned to us that Doug Flutie in 1995 had a similar injury. We're not sure if it was exactly the same as Darian Durant, but we tracked the recovery time of Doug Flutie, who was operated on just after Labor Day, came back for the final regular season game. On the same time scale, Darian Durant might be ready for the final regular season game if the injury's the same and the healing process is similar. Scoop there by Dressler, who fields it. Tried to reverse to the short side and runs out of real estate.
Well, Tino Sunseri has established himself now. He comes into the second half of this game, and he's been pretty good in his limited action in second halves. He go back to that Ottawa game, took it to overtime, 234 yards passing in the second half. Tonight, 7 of 8.
Saskatchewan, number 39, half distance of goal. First down.
In the second half. Now, this is a young quarterback that's still going to go through ups and downs. He's going to have a good series. He's going to have a bad series. He's going to have a good game, a bad game. But I think the message he sent to the entire team and to his coaching staff, to Corey Chamberlain, is, I've been groomed, like Matt Dunnigan said at halftime, I've been groomed as the backup. Stick with me as the backup. And I think that's the message he sent to the team tonight, win or lose.
Penalty was against Tim Kronk. 6th time that the Roughriders start inside the 20. Anthony Allen with a spin, but right into Sean Lemon.
That's what happens defensively. For young players watching, if you maintain your gap control against the run, even if it's on the backside of a play. Lemon is the backside of this play here, but he maintains his leverage and he maintains his gap control. So even though the play's away from him, he slides down, maintains his gap control, and then when it comes back, he's right there to step in and make the hit.
Just a yard for Allen. 2nd and 9, maybe a free play. And they're going to get a first down. Anthony Allen up to the 20. Looked like Freddie Bishop jumped the gun. 9 yards for Allen. Likely they'll decline the penalty, take the first down run.
Offside, Calgary, number 95. Penalties decline. Play results in a first down.
Anthony Allen up to 78 yards on the night. By the way, the Roughriders have not driven for a touchdown this year when starting inside the 20. Calgary's done it 8 times. That's more than double any other team in the league. Sunseri in trouble. Ball's loose. And now they're ruling incomplete.
Yeah, Yeah, it's incomplete no matter how you throw it forward. If you throw it underhand, if you lateral it, or you push it, as long as it's going forward, it's an incomplete pass if it's not caught, not a fumble. And he, not a great decision. He wanted to get to Messiv, and or actually it was Anthony Allen. Wide open was Rob Bagg, and the pocket collapsed on him.
So 2nd and 10 from the 20. Time running out, but he's got a man over the middle. Boy, and a lot of steamboats to find Brett Swain.
That's all O-line, that play. And Tino Sunseri, knowing he's got this time, now it's 3-man pressure, so he should have time 3 against 5. Juwan Simpson kind of spying him, but never actually goes on any kind of blitz or stun. He just stays back, and Sunseri has tons of time to find Swain.
20 for Swain and a first down. More time, and now he'll take off and run for a first down, and a feet first slide near midfield. They'll mark him at the 51, but it'll move the chains.
Best he's looked, even when you compare it to the second half against Ottawa.
Scoreboard was on fire, and it may have lit the fire under Sunseri tonight that he didn't get the start. Trying to get the finish, and he's got Jerome Messam thundering down the sidelines and cut down at the 24. Messam, biggest reception of the year.
After the start in Hamilton, when Sunseri struggled, I asked him, how do you make the adjustment? What are you changing? He said, you know, I'm missing receivers, so I'm going to aim small so that if I miss small. Aim small, miss ball. Something his dad, Sal, taught him a long, long time ago. And he's looked better.
8 first downs in the last 3 drives. This the 7th play of the drive. Back in Messam's hands to the 20. Has about 3.
And what that means is aim small, miss small. So if you're aiming at a receiver and you miss him by a whole person, it's incomplete. If you're aiming at the decal on the jersey of the receiver and you miss him by a few inches, and he can still make the catch. And that's what Tino Sunseri said. He was making the adjustment. Since that throw to Dan De Palma, he's looked like the quarterback that Saskatchewan Roughriders thought he would be.
The star of the pit, Josh Bell, the safety, has been injured. He's getting attention. Those numbers in relief tonight, the best he has put up. Rough Rider team with just one 300-yard game this year. It came in a loss early against Toronto with Darian Durant. And Sunseri with 2:17 here. And a lot of time left, over 10 minutes in the 4th quarter. 8-point Calgary lead. Back to the no lead is safe CFL tonight.
What a turnaround.
There's Adam Berger in for Josh Bell. Surrey, BC product, once named the BC High School Football Player of the Year. 2nd and 7 for the Rough Riders. Trying to keep this comeback going. Sunseri looking for a lot in the end zone. And Dressler taken down by Wall.
Oh, yeah, no question. There's no question that's interference. And it was Jamar Wall and Adam Berger that were trying to play basically that match coverage from Rich Stubler, where as the receivers come out.
Forward pass interference, Calgary, number 29. Penalty happened in goal. Ball's placed on the 1-yard line with an automatic first down.
See, they both hesitate. Berger's back there along with Wall. They hesitate. That puts Jamar Wall in a chase position. He jumps and screens. Weston Dressler will put it on the 1-yard line.
Second time Dressler has been interfered with in the end zone. Again, Sinceri with Messam. And Sinceri left side this time. Not as good a surge. And no signal yet. It'll be second down. So we go to the 10th play of the drive, and again, George Cortez's offense has not driven the field from inside their 20 to score a touchdown this year. This could get them 2 points away from tying the game. Second and goal. Messam reached in, and it'll go. Now they rule touchdown.
Well, they're going to be reviewed. All scoring plays reviewed. And Messam reached across. And I'm not sure if his knee was down or not when he reached, because he got caught in the air. This is the downside of a running back leaving the ground, jumping over the pile.
But is that enough? Looked like that might have been enough to make the play.
Did it cross the plane when he was in the air?
Because that didn't work. The one on the ground.
Once he was on the ground, he's down by contact. The question is, when he was in the air, did the ball cross the plane? Jerome Mayo catches him. He's down by contact when he reaches.
And is it the stretch right there that...
It's a little bit of a crooked line. Calgary fans are saying, hey, draw a straight line.
You weren't much for drafting, were you? And now they go for 2 in the tie. Can they go 3 for 3? They've scored on 3 straight drives. Sinceri steps up. He's got a man. He's got 2. Anthony Allen tied at 24.
Young man showing something, hasn't he? Tino Sinceri.
It is heating up here at Mosaic. Tie
Go! Xavier, what up?
Jerome Messam scoring his first touchdown as a Saskatchewan Roughrider. It was 24-0 Calgary. Stampeders authored the biggest comeback of the year 3 weeks ago against Toronto. Cunningham, big return. Up to the 50-yard line. Came back from 26 down against Toronto, but they've let 24-point lead slip away tonight.
Now here's that drive you're talking about starting in their own end. Tino Sinceri really has shown something tonight. I mean, not only has he brought this team back, it started with a touchdown throw to Dan DePalma. And it's been all Saskatchewan momentum-wise since then. Remember, Tino Sinceri has had to make the 2-point convert plays 3 times now.
And Steve Daniels just told us, Suits, that is a new Canadian Football League standard. Drop pass over the middle. Parker can't hang on. And it's uncanny how this game has turned, really, since John Cornus was no longer available. And since Tino Sinceri became available.
It's off the hook now.
Second down, Tate flushed, has a man, and has a clutch first down to Nick Lewis. There is a flag.
Right in front of the Calgary bench.
Would be Lewis's first catch of the game. 14-yard pickup.
Illegal contact on a receiver, Saskatchewan. Number 35, the penalty will be declined. This play resulted in a first down.
Big second and long conversion for Drew Tate.
Really was, as loud as it was for Drew Tate to handle that noise, get the ball even snapped from center, and calmly move himself out of the pocket and get it to Nick Lewis. That's a big, big play.
First and 10. Fake to Walter. Has some time. Wants Maurice Price. Picked off. Tristan Jackson. Fourth interception of the year for Jackson. The first takeaway of the night for Saskatchewan.
Tristan Jackson is going to do a blind turn, a speed turn out of this to get back on the hip of his receiver, Maurice Price. He knows he's got help over the top from Macho Harris, but it's a great blind turn or speed turn by the DB, and Tristan Jackson spin underneath it and get to that football.
So now the Roughriders take over. 3 touchdowns their last 3 possessions, 243 yards. And Sinceri steps up. He'll have to take off, and he'll get taken down. Lynn J. Shell, the tackle. Let's check in with Lee Jones.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. You know, Geroy Simon doesn't play with the Saskatchewan Roughriders anymore, but he's still helping out, contributing to the team and the province. He's running a fundraiser called Coats for Kids. It gets coats for underprivileged children. Last year, they got about 14,000 coats for children across the province, and he's expecting more. So again, I asked him why he continues to do this, and he goes, you know what? I love the community, what they did when I was playing here, and I want to continue giving back.
Great to see that drive. Riders looking for another offensive drive here, and there's Brett Swain, who had a 20-yarder to get the last one going, and Swain has a catch just like 81 used to grab.
Geroy Simon loves that catch by Brett Swain, and he's doing a lot for the organization here in Saskatchewan right now. He's doing some scouting of both the CIS and college football down south, taking a look at players, helping out with some PR work, helping out as a spokesperson.
First and 10. Sinceri steps up. He's got another completion over the middle. And Brett Swain has his 3rd catch of the night. Came in with only 15 on the season.
Aim small, miss small from Tino Sinceri. And he is in that groove, in that zone. Has been this second half.
Right, coach, great.
So another first down. Swain had a 5-catch game against Ottawa. That's his best, but 3 big ones tonight. Sinceri just got that away. Pressure from DeQuinn Evans forces the incompletion, and 2nd and 10. Prior to the last 3 scoring drives by the Roughriders, which started late in the 3rd quarter, they had 76 yards of offense.
Well, we both said you get the feeling that you just wonder if they can break the shutout. Fast forward a quarter and a bit, and it's all tied up.
2nd and 10. Pocket collapses. He steps up, takes off, and lunging. He'll come up short of the first down, but Corey Chamberlain may have a decision. Didn't get a great spot, and he's going to be 1.5 yards to 2 yards short.
Yeah, I was going to say too, Chris, that Tino Sinceri doesn't think he was touched when he first dove. But when you give yourself up like that, it's where your knee touches, and that's exactly where they'll mark it. I think the mark is correct, and it'll just be short.
And they have to get right to the 50. It's spotted outside the 51. Sunseri looking at the scoreboard to check the spot that he thought wasn't very generous. And there will not be a gamble at this stage by the coach. Milo to boot it away. Looking for the corner. Cunningham at the 11. And a decent return up to the 25. Well, week 5 of the 2014 NFL season continues. Sunday Night Football. Bengals head to Gillette Stadium to face the Patriots at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. Nick Schulte's calling the Bengals in that one, and he's feeling pretty good after a big win for his alma mater last night. Arizona knocking off Oregon with some dramatics, and we've got some here tonight.
Let's see if Iowa can get it done.
Fake to Walter and gun to Price, who's been the best receiving weapon for Calgary tonight, making his 5th catch. 18 yards on that grab from Price. He has 67 in the game.
Doing this a couple times in the game tonight, just holding the defensive back for a split second with that little play action fake and finding his #1 receiver tonight.
Tate trying to bounce back from that last series interception. Has some time, and pass is caught. Nick Lewis,
he fought it
with a little juggle, but held on, and Macho Harris over the top to make sure he was down.
Well, just a few catches last week for Nick Lewis. Not as much as a factor as he used to be, but still makes the key one. He fought it a little bit there.
Wondered if he was tagged down, but he has his 2nd catch in this 4th quarter. We're in for a finish.
6 of 13, 90 yards in the 2nd half. Sunseri over 250.
Tate hit as he got it away, and Matt Walter loose down the sidelines. And another first down.
Oh boy.
Did Drew Tate take a hit?
He did, and it looked like it was Terrius George again who started this game being almost unblockable. And kind of a quiet 3rd quarter. Goes on a stunt here, runs right by Spencer Wilson and puts a huge hit on Tate. It took him a second to shake that one off.
19 for Walter. 3 passes, 3 first downs for Tate. On a drive that started at the Calgary 25, their worst field position of the night. Fake to Walter. Price in the flat. And almost got away. Tripped up down at the 25, but another first down.
Good throw by Tate because he got rid of it quickly. He gave Mo Price a chance to do something with the football. Quick play action, get it out of there, flip the hips around. Great throw to Mo Price. He does the rest. Move the chains one more time. That's his 6th catch of the night.
First and 10 at the Roughrider 26. Stack the short side and give it to Walter, and he'll have 3.
Flag on the other side of the field, and I wondered if, clicking the short side, didn't get the number. Might have been Ricky Foley. Jumped in the neutral zone. Now, was he drawn by movement on the O-line? Not sure.
Foley pleading his case, but
offside. Saskatchewan, number 70. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
They called Derek Walker.
I think Foley's argument was he was watching the center, Brett Jones, here, and there was all kinds of movement as he tried to touch to get the snap done because of the crowd noise. You saw Foley jump. That's the 5 yards.
First and 5. Walter the handoff. And falls forward down to the 15. Should have another first down.
Well, now Dave Dickinson is thinking about a couple things. Obviously getting the points to put his football team in the lead, but also working this 1:55 off the clock in the process.
69 yards on the drive without their #1 weapon. 7th play upcoming. And they'll sneak for the first down.
Well, I'll say this. We talked earlier about the little bit of controversy that really is nothing between Drew Tate and his offensive coordinator, Dave Dickinson. It was just a misunderstanding more than anything, and there's no problem with his team. The play calling on this drive has been outstanding, and so is the execution.
Fresh set of downs, and again inside the 20 where they're lethal. In the end around to Parker. Anthony Parker helicoptered down around the 5-yard line by Weldon Brown. And it's close to another 10-yard pickup. We'll just confirm it is a first down. Looks like it. Already 3 for 3 in the score zone tonight inside the 20.
That in itself a gutsy call from Dave Dickinson to run that fly sweep when you're giving up about 7-8 yards and handing the ball off that deep in your backfield. Any type of defense. Saskatchewan's going to stop the clock with the timeout, but any kind of deep handoff like that, if you get a D lineman up the field, you take the loss there.
Brian Peters going off. Chad Kilgore is checked back in. #1 in that department by a long margin at 79.5 coming into the game. They're about 85% now when getting inside the 20. They score touchdowns with Bo Levi Mitchell or Drew Tate.
Drew Tate's best start of the year. Started the last 2 for Bo Levi Mitchell. This has been his best game, as John Cornish predicted it would be.
He's not thinking about it now, but down the line, this will be a good game on the resume for Drew Tate. First and goal, Matt Walter lunging down to about the 1.
The handoff to Matt Walter.
Offensively, likely pounded again. And a running play, but a running play that gets them, even though it's this tight and close, sometimes that angle can be difficult if they don't cross the goal line and need to kick a field goal to win it or to take the lead in the game anyway. So a running play to the left side is likely what Calgary want to go at with.
Clock running. Second and goal for the 1. Stamps trying to cap the drive and take the lead. Tate sweeps right side. We'll get there. And now it's 3rd and 1.
See, that's surprising to me. Now, this is a chip shot for a field goal, but I've been down there as a holder, and I know the angle when you're that tight is difficult. And this has been an adventure in the field goal team for Rennie Paredes and Rob Maver, the holder, all game long tonight. And why Tate, if he was going to do that, didn't go to the left side?
Well, that's a win for the defense at the end of a great drive for Drew Tate, because it's going to keep the game within reach.
He's got one of the Roughriders. He's got one block tonight, Chris.
For the lead, and Paredes drills it through, and Cesare has 34 seconds to get 3 back. There is a flag down. Let's find out what this is about. Too many men against Saskatchewan. This will be ball game if that's the
Illegal
case.
substitution, Saskatchewan. 10-yard penalty. It'll bring you on to the automatic first down from the 1.
Illegal substitution. Not too many men. I counted 12 on the line of scrimmage. Obviously, that tight, you don't put a guy
anybody back
in the end zone.
Well, they're still substituting in now. Hurl comes in for Kilgore. Game is tied again, but
took points off the board too.
Roughriders or the Stampeders can put it in for 7 now, and they do. Touchdown for Drew Tate, who gets his second of the game on a second chance by a penalty. And they're 4 for 4 in the red zone tonight. Costly penalty.
Thank you, man.
What a drive by Drew Tate. Whether it be by field goal or by this touchdown on the second attempt. John Cornish goes, yep, there we go. That's the play we're looking for. Off that left side.
So Tate has 8 touchdowns on the year. Bo Levi Mitchell has 4. 12 plays, 85 yards. What a drive for the Stampeders when it was slipping away.
And basically took the last 2 minutes off the board. Finished with the major after the penalty.
And Nick Lewis with some clutch catches.
You probably won the game for us right there.
And Drew Tate just acknowledged it. Brett Jones, the Regina product, at the heart of that offensive line. And now Saskatchewan. Do they have anything left? 32 seconds remaining. And Corey Chamberlain talking to Brian Peters, who went off the field injured. And was that in any way involved in the substitution penalty? Tristan Jackson back. Paredes likely to squib it. Taken by one of the up men. That's Dylan Ainsworth trying to get outside, and he's stopped at the 40. Well, check that. David Lee, the defensive end with the return, and Tino Sinceri 70 yards away where Saskatchewan has to be. Called upon to
offside on the kickoff. Calgary, number 24. Penalties declined. Saskatchewan takes the ball, first down.
We're hearing from the sideline now, Chris, that Brian Peters was injured, was supposed to be out for 3 plays. Didn't stay the full 3 plays, went in, and that's why it was illegal substitution. When you're injured and the training staff has to come and get you, you have to stay out for 3 plays. He came in before 3 were up.
$70 yards away, downfield. Rob Banks got a catch. He'll be dropped at the 44. That'll stop it momentarily with 18 seconds to go. They'll have to line up quickly.
Another throw about 10-15 yards here, and Tino Sinceri can throw it to the end zone in the final play. Could squeeze 3 plays out here if he's efficient.
Let's see how efficient they are. They're ready to start the clock. They do. And they only lose a couple seconds. That was well done. Over the middle, it's De Palma again. And he'll be brought down at the 38-yard line. 9 on the clock, and now they're going to have to go to the end zone. What does George Cortez have? One last gasp.
Look to the end zone, the miraculous catch, or a penalty.
They've had 2 pass interference penalties in the end zone. Is he going to get it away? No! Sean Lemon with the sack with no time on the clock. Off the edge to put the finishing touches. Second sack of the night for Lemon. And Tino Sinceri's comeback bid will come up short. Some great drama here tonight. Calgary squandered a 24-point lead, but Sean Lemon makes sure they leave with a win.
No question who the starter for Saskatchewan is as long as Darian Durant is out. Tino Sunseri has officially won the job.
Stampeders with a win that will clinch a playoff berth and take a giant step towards first place in the West. John Hufnagel breathes a sigh of relief. John Corners didn't finish, but his Stampeders did. 31-24. The final at Mosaic Sports Center is now